Welcome to the battlefields of World War II. In this series, we will be looking at a massive amount of conflicts in chronological order which occurred during the span of World War II. We begin all the way back, when things start to escalate in Asia during 1937, and go all the way to 1945 at the end days of the war. Each conflict will be briefly introduced with information mainly provided by Wikipedia. The battle will then be fought out in Battlefield 1942. All theaters of war, including the Pacific, Western Europe, Eastern Europe, and Africa, will be dealt with. Be warned that there may be historical inaccuracies when it comes to the battles that are provided, but the main purpose of this series is to entertain, not to educate. For your epic journey throughout World War II, look no further. Enjoy. The 1938 Yellow River Flood was a flood created by the nationalist government in central China during the early stage of the Second Sino-Japanese War in an attempt to halt the rapid advance of Japanese forces. It has been called the largest act of environmental warfare in history. Following the onset of the Second Sino-Japanese War in 1937, the Imperial Japanese Army marched rapidly into the heart of Chinese territory. By June 1938, the Japanese had control of all of North China, and on June 6th, they captured Kaifeng, the capital of Hainan, and threatened to take over Zhengzhou, the junction of the arterial Pyongyang and Longhai railways. Japanese success here would have directly endangered the major city of Wuhan. To stop further Japanese advances into western and southern China, Chiang Kai-shek, at the suggestion of Chen Guofu, determined to open up the dikes on the Yellow River near Zhengzhou. The dikes were destroyed on June 5th and June 7th via the use of explosives, with waters flooding into the Henan, Anhui, and Jiangsu. The floods covered and destroyed thousands of square kilometers of farmland and shifted the mouth of the Yellow River hundreds of kilometers to the south. Thousands of villages were destroyed and several million villagers driven from their homes and made refugees. An official Kuomintang post-war commission estimated that 800,000 drowned, which is higher than modern scholarship indicates. The strategic value of the flood has been questioned. Japanese troops were out of its range either to the north and east or to the south. Their advance on Zhengzhou was halted, but they took Wuhan in October by attacking from a different direction. Hey everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Battlefields of World War II. We are actually going to play, well... yeah, let's play as the Japanese. I guess it can be kind of argued who won this battle. Some say that the success was achieved by the Chinese as they halted the Japanese advance a little bit. But then again, I don't think killing over 500,000 of your own can be really seen as a victory there. The troubling thing about this was that not only like short term but long term there were many problems with this area after the war was done, after the water had disappeared, where there was so much silt left over from the water that a lot of farmers could not grow crops. Not only that, they lost, of course, a lot of their living buildings, farming buildings, etc., etc. So it was basically uninhabitable. The issue, of course, was that they looked for someone to blame, but they really couldn't find anyone. Many blamed both the Japanese, the invaders, and the Chinese, who they felt betrayed them by destroying the land that they lived in. And it was basically all for even more delaying the Japanese advancement. We already saw this with the Battle of Shanghai, where they ordered the defense of the city purely so that at other areas they could prepare better. If you have a land or a country that is as big as China, one can afford that. Like, this would really not be the case with a country like, let's say, Holland or the Netherlands, who try and hold off because their country is so small that the amount of time to prepare that they would gain is maybe a day, maybe at most. But with China, where the Battle of Shanghai lasted 3 months, if there's a different area that can, of course, resupply, restock, or prepare for a war, then 3 months is quite a lot. This is kind of interesting because, again, we're playing with a huge number. 255 units are in this map, but you can see that all of them are ignoring the flooded area, which I don't blame them. But it really makes this giant map feel even bigger with the harsh terrain that we actually need to deal with. It's interesting too, that because let's say modders would release a map like this for any game, people would probably say, what a shitty made map, where there's so much in the middle, where there's nothing to gain, no outposts, you can only swim, you can't attack. But because this has historic significance, historic value, it actually changed that up and actually becomes quite a good map. Not necessarily a map I would play over and over and over again, but still. Where am I? I'm trying to find myself on the map. Oh, there we go. So I got a few comments. The first episode just went up, and people liked it. People found it a little bit annoying that you have the names. Unfortunately, I cannot turn that off. And people also asked if there was a civilian war for the Spanish. Unfortunately not. I really wish there was. Because again, as I said before, I've been really getting into Hearts of Iron 4. And that of course starts with the Spanish Civil War in one of the earliest scenarios. And unfortunately I could not... Oh shit, this is uncapturable. Damn it. Okay, they do own a point we can capture over there. They are actually trying to regain the area over there. Ooh, look at this. Let's steal one of their... I don't know if I died because I ran through the water, or pretty cool effects though there. Oh, look at that. They are attacking though. Let's help them out a little bit. But yeah, there will unfortunately always be battles and scenarios that have been fought that unfortunately will not be dealt with in the series. But nevertheless, I think this is going to be one of the most complete series when it comes to history of World War II. For example, we are also going to have a battle at Norway, but also, and I didn't even know this, and that is actually the Japanese fought on American ground in Alaska. It was one of the smaller islands. I think it's called Adask Island, but they actually fought there in one of the harbors, and we will have that battle in the series as well. It's not going to be for a while. I thought it was 1942, 43. Could be wrong there, but not for a while. Now this is of course 1938 though, so this was quite a jump in time. And as mentioned, there were 22 conflicts, or serious sized conflicts between Japan and China during this war. We won't get all of them. But basically after this it won't take too long until we get to Germany invading Poland and focusing on Europe. I think we have about 2 or 3 more in Asia, where Russia also starts to mingle into things, and then after that we will make our shift towards Europe. Oh, and we lost. Well, we didn't necessarily. Well, minor victory, I guess. The time's up. Let's. I didn't necessarily increase the time for this match because, again, I don't think this is a too interesting map to play. It is, again, fairly symmetrical. I guess it's a little bit more fun as the Chinese to see if you can actually take a lot of land, because the Japanese are going for it quite hard. I want to get into the car. And there we go. Just a civilian car, but let's actually see if we can take it. I want to see if I can punch through. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Like, they're going for the southwest capture point, and I want to go for the western capture point. So I will hopefully take that, and I will punch through. So we're going to take this village. This flooded village over here. Alright. And hopefully with that we can actually have a little bit of dominance. You can see that the majority of the AI is going for the eastern one. We just captured it. People have been starting to spawn in here. So let's hope this will be enough. We just gotta hold this bridge. People also have been pointing out that for some battles that are not in the battle group 42, I should use Forgotten Hope. Don't worry, guys, I was already ahead of you. I have Forgotten Hope installed as well, but Forgotten Hope, for the most part, focuses more on the final, or not final, but the well-known 39 till 45 age range, which again, officially titled, this would not be part of the World War II. This is the Second Sino-Japanese War. But that's because currently it is only a war between Japan and China. And this, of course, is still the case once the war becomes a global conflict. Let's join our troops for this massive assault. One other mod that was recommended that I didn't know yet was the Red Orchestra one, 44, 45. So that probably focuses more on the Soviets during World War II, hopefully with more details there. And I hope that, you know, I'm not entirely sure how many battles and conflicts we're going to have in this series, but I hope at least more than 70, 80. And by that, give a huge archive of things. I mean, I hope to the thing where, let's say, people don't necessarily want to watch the gameplay of it. They'll stick around for the first 2 or 3 minutes to, you know, learn a little bit about what the conflict was. Maybe watch 1 or 2 minutes of gameplay to kind of get a visualization of it. And again, I do think that these gameplay aspects, especially also because it's made on an older game, should be taken with a big grain of salt. But the fact that there are modders out there that make these scenarios for free is, I think, very noteworthy. And you can see now that we are really pulling through. There's a huge front at that right side, but dear God. And we're trying to pull through here, but our flanking strength is just too small. Doesn't really help going that way because that point is unable to capture. Let's see if we can get this flooded factory or harbor or whatever it is. Well, not a harbor, definitely, because this is all like farmland, but you know. If this is the case, now we can flank. Now we can attack them from both sides. That would be great. Alright, went to neutral. There actually is a Forgotten Hope for Battlefield 2 as well, but I don't know how complete that is. How many maps are there? There are, for example, there's the Battle of Crete. So we're gonna have that too, of course. The Greek battles. But, wow. Let's see what the AI does. The AI is still at a stalemate over there. Not progressing in any way, shape, or form. Come on. Okay, well, was a little far-fetched anyway. I hoped to drive some of them over, but, you know. Let's do another assault. 1.5 minutes, so let's continue with this huge attack force. Come on, pull through, pull through! These are those famous, like, imagery, you know, the photos of the soldiers wading through the water, guns high. But was it worth it, Chiang Kai-shek? Was it worth it? That's the question. The answer, by the way, on that question is obviously no. I wasn't asking it as like a philosophical thing. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked it. And I will see you guys on the next Battlefield.